Hello friends. So in part 7 we have discussed hydration, that is the net addition of H2O, H and OH across the CC multiple bond. Then in part 8 we have seen oxymercuration, demercuration, and that is also one type of hydration reaction because ultimately it is the net addition of H and OH. So today's topic, that is part 9, hydroboration oxidation, this is also net addition of H and OH, but here we will use some boron reagent, and the next step there will be oxidation, but ultimately it is the net addition of H and OH. So this is also as if one type of hydration. So hydroboration, that is the first step, and oxidation, that is the second step. So here we have general structure of alkene, and we are using BH3 THF complex. So THF is tetrahydrofuran. It has structure like this. So BH3 it is available in this form, that is complex with THF. So here H and BH2, that is HBH2, total it is BH3, that is added across the CC double bond. So this is the first step, which is hydroboration, and the second step it is oxidation, that is we are using hydrogen peroxide in presence of alkaline medium. So here the BH2, that will be converted to OH. So see, it is the net addition of water across the double bond. But here the important thing is, in normal hydration, that is acid catalyzed hydration, we have seen that it is the Markovnikov addition, but here it is anti-Markovnikov addition. That is very important because unlike acid catalyzed hydration, now regioselectivity, it is different. So this is also regioselective because OH will be added, particularly there will be specific position, not just both probable products we will get, only one specific product we will get. So that is why it is regioselective, that is the region of OH where it will be added, that is selective. Okay, and it is also syn addition, that is H and OH both are added from the same site, so that is why it is also stereospecific. And BH3 THF complex, that is the most commonly used form of boron, and remember boron is Lewis acid. Why? Because boron, its octet is not fulfilled. So boron, there are 3 bonds with any atom suppose, but in all these 3 bonds total electron, this is 6. So total number of electrons surrounding boron, it is 6. So octet is not complete. That is why boron is Lewis acid, and it has a tendency to accept electron from the pi bond. So here if I write H and BH2 in this way, the pi bond, that will be attacking this BH2 because boron is electron deficient, and then H will be added here. So H and BH2 both are added from the same side. Detailed mechanism obviously we will discuss after some time. Okay. Now this BH3, it actually remains in the form of dimer. It cannot stay, that is as monomer. So 2BH3, it is in the form of dimer, that is diboron, B2H6. So diboron, actual part that we require is BH3. So diboron, it is treated with 2 molecules of THF. This is THF, tetrahydrofuran. Furan having structure like this, and if we add 4 hydrogen at these 4 carbon, then it will be tetrahydrofuran. Okay, so 2 tetrahydrofuran and B2H6. Now it is converted to monomer. And see, basically here the lone pair of oxygen, as boron is electron deficient, it will be giving up electrons. So now it is B minus, because boron now has total 4 bonds, and oxygen it has even electrons, so that is why it is positively charged. Okay, so this is the complex, that is BH3 THF complex. Fine. So next we will go to mechanism, but before that, as we have said, this is anti-Markovnikov. That means the negative part that will be attached to that carbon which is containing higher number of hydrogen. More hydrogen attached to the carbon, that carbon, that is HO minus, that will be attached. So here in this alkene, if you see, this is not symmetric alkene. So suppose this is number 1, this is number 2. So one position that is more substituted, that means containing lesser number of hydrogen, less hydrogen. So that is why here H is added. This is 1, this is 2, and OH is added to that carbon which is containing more number of hydrogen, because OH is the negative part. Okay, so this is the final product. But how we are reaching this product, that is the mechanism that we have to see. So we are starting from BH3, though actually it should be written BH3.THF, but for simplicity we are seeing the mechanism in this way. Okay, so BH3, H, BH2. So both are added from the same side. Now BH2 is attached to these two carbon. This is 1, this is 2. So now you can consider this molecule as if this group is R. So as if it is RBH2. Now RBH2, it is just like BH3. So now it will be added BHR. So again the same type of mechanism. So now we are getting 2 R groups attached to boron. So it is R2BH. Basically what will happen, all the 3 hydrogen that will be replaced by 3 alkyl group. Okay. So another alkene. This is the first alkene. This is the second alkene. This is the third alkene. So now we have total 3 R groups. 1, 2, 3. And R2BH, that will be added in this way. BR2. Fine. So this is equivalent to R3B. For simplicity, we have written it in this way. So maximum all this, that is all the 3 hydrogens can be replaced by the alkyl group. Now what is the next step? Oxidation of alkyl borans. So the first step is complete, that is hydroboration part is complete. And the next step is oxidation. Now oxidation part, we have broken these in some steps. So the first step is nucleophilic attack at the boron. So H2O2, that is in presence of HO minus, one of the hydrogen that will be taken by HO minus, and it will be converted to HOO minus. So this HOO minus, it will attack this boron. So this compound is basically R3B. This is R3B, right? This is 1 R group and another 2 R group that is written in the form of R. So now there is complex like this, and there will be negative charge over boron because boron has total 4 bonds. So this is the nucleophilic attack by HOO minus at the boron atom. The second step is alkyl shift. Alkyl shift means this R group that will be shifted towards boron. So from boron, now alkyl group is transferred to oxygen and HO will be removed. So what is that is driving force for this? Because this bond will be more stable. The newly formed bond that will be more stable. So now we have this RC bond after migration. So this is 1-2 migration of the alkyl group. So from BC bond, this is BC bond. Now we are getting OC bond and HO minus is removed. Third step, nucleophilic attack by HO minus. Now nucleophilic attack by HO minus, it will attack the boron. Now boron is carrying negative charge and this part will be broken. So there is R2BH and O minus. And finally there will be protonation. So finally protonation, this is water molecule. So this H will be captured by O minus and we are getting our final molecule, that is the anti-Markovnikov product. Anti-Markovnikov addition. Okay. So here we have some commercially available boron compounds, because BH3-THF complex, if you see, mostly you will see the reagent, that is this reagent is mostly used in most of the books, but there are 2 other boron compounds that are commercially available. So here only 1 hydrogen attached to the boron is actually required for the entire conversion, right? Because it is the net addition of H and BH, it may be BH2, it may be BHR, or it may be BR2. Okay, so that is at first step. Suppose if it is HBr2, that is H and Br2, That is also possible because it is only one hydrogen is required for addition, because it is the net addition of H and OH. So as one hydrogen is required for the entire conversion, so there are some commercially available dialkyl boron. So this is actually dialkyl boron because two R groups are there. So this is DC-amyl boron, here one R group, this is another R group, that is alkyl group, and another important reagent is 9-bora bicyclo-nonane. In short, it is 9-BBN. It is also written in this way for simplicity because it is bicyclic. Okay, so this is one side, this is another side. So we will see what is the use of this type of compounds because they are statically hindered. So the addition of H and BH2, we have seen that is H is added to that carbon which is more substituted, and BH2 that is added to that carbon which is containing higher number of hydrogen, that is less substituted. But now when you are using statically hindered compounds, that is statically hindered dialkyl boron, the selectivity that will even increased. So here we have two examples. So when there are two double bonds in the molecule, it attacks the less crowded one preferentially. So here the red double bond and the blue double bond, the blue one is less crowded, this is less crowded. So this reagent, that is 9-BBM, this is attached to the less crowded double bond. Similarly, for the second example, here you can see there are total 3 double bonds, but here among these 3, the less crowded is the blue one. So that is why DC-amyl boron, that is this second reagent, that is added to only this terminal carbon. So here this statically hindered 9-BBN and DC-amyl boron, they are static hinders. It is actually helping in increasing the regioselectivity. Okay, so if the regioselectivity suppose 80% when you are using simply BH3-THF complex, maybe when you are using 9-BBN and DC-amyl boron, it will increase from 80% to 90%, like this. Okay, so that's all about this video, but this is not the end of hydroboration oxidation because the details of stereochemistry, that is regioselectivity and also stereospecificity, that will be discussed in the next video. Okay, if you find the video helpful, please like, share and subscribe, and thank you for your time.